Welcome, everybody, to this JMC weekly webinar. It's June 15th, 2022 on understanding online payments. I'm the person with you today. I had a partner with me, but he actually is, I didn't realize he can be on vacation. So I'm excited to be with you today. My name is Paul Freed. I'm the lead trainer at JMC. Been with JMC for, I think, 17 years. I used to be a teacher up in the Twin Cities. And now I get to teach all kinds of users, office folks, teachers, counselors, how to use JMC. And I got a great team that works with me as well. So if you have any questions, please hold them till a Q&A session at the end of each section. You sure can type them in anytime, but that's when I'll look at those questions and go through them and answer any question that you got. If you do need to communicate with me, the host, feel free to use that Q&A chat feature in your webinar toolbar. Let's get right into it. Families can enjoy the convenience and timeliness of making online payments directly to your school with the help of our payment partner and JMC Online Payments. Offer your families the opportunity to add funds from a credit card or bank account to their family meal accounts and pay fees using the JMC Family Portal or directly through the JMC Family app. Now, before I go through the agenda, I'm just going to tell you some of my thoughts on this because I've talked to lots of schools about online payments. Number one is that the schools, they offer this to people as an alternative to bringing in cash or check, right? If you sign up for online payments, people don't need to do everything online. It's up to them. There is a fee, and we'll talk about what that fee is in just a moment for them to use it. That's a convenience fee. And so if they want to pay online, they've got to pay the convenience fee. And so my general little story, I tell people that, I also don't like paying extra fees for credit cards, but there's many times I've been online and I could send a check or pay with a credit card. I'm just going to pay that 4% convenience fee or whatever it is because I just want to get it done. So those are the folks that you're trying to get to here. But again, people can always send in a check. They can always drop off cash. It's not an either or, it's a both end. And the other big advantage to doing payments in JMC, as you'll see in the JMC Family Portal, it's right there. You don't need to look around. They don't need to find it. So if you had, I'm just making this up, if you had 40% of your families that were making online payments using a different third-party processor, it's probably going to jump 20 to 30%. I'm guessing, of course, I can't make any promises, but by doing it in JMC, because the button to make a payment is right there when they're looking at what their lunch balance is or what they owe for tuition and fees. So that's just kind of my general thoughts moving forward. So here's what's on the agenda. We're going to talk about setting up online payments, deposits in JMC Office, deposit in JMC Family, deposits in the JMC Family app, and then online payments reporting. Let's get right into it. So setting up online payments. When your district is ready to start accepting credit card and ACH lunch deposits and fee payments from families through JMC's online payments module, contact Payment Spring, JMC's payment processor. And the way you can do it actually is you can just email support@jmcinc.com and say, hey, we want to sign up for online payments, and they will send you back the contact information to contact them. Then Payment Spring walks your district through the setup process, and JMC works with your district to decide what to charge your families for convenience fees and maximum deposit amounts. And the thing to note here is the process to work with Payment Spring or any payment processor, it takes weeks. I would allow at least 2 to 4 weeks because you're connecting your bank accounts to an FDIC insured institution, which is Payment Spring. And the feds take all that seriously. And so if you wanted to start doing online payments, July 15th, you'd want to start today to get that process going because they're also busy onboarding lots of new schools as well. They do online payments for lots of institutions, not just schools. But if you want to do it, you want to get moving on that pretty quickly. So what'll happen is after you get set up with Payment Spring here, or when you get set up, this is what's going to happen. So you're going to follow the steps below on your way to accepting online payments. You'll go to this site right here. And actually, I'll have this presentation linked in the YouTube video, or if you're part of this presentation, I'll be emailing it to you. You can actually go to this as well. We still like to know if you're doing online payments, but they'll send you this link right here. And you're going to go there to fill out your district's information to begin the application process. So if I come here, I'm just going to click on it. And that's going to bring up this one right here. It's going to put your contact name in, your school name, email, notes, and comments, and let's go. It's going to go right in there. And if you have any questions before you start, you sure can go ahead and deal with that right there. Okay, so that's that first step there. They're the ones that initiate that process. Then, fun fact, you'll receive a confirmation email from Payment Spring in 3 to 5 business days acknowledging your application. Helpful tip, for additional information regarding the application, you can call that phone number or email clientservices@paymentspring.com. Then step 2 is email JMC's tech support to begin setting up the online payment module after your Payment Spring application has been approved. So I guess you technically don't need to email support right away. You could just go there. Either way, they'll know. But when you get the confirmation from Payment Spring, hey, you're set up on our side, then you'll email tech support at support@jmcinc.com. They're going to send you a form, and that form is going to have these questions on it. Number one, would you like to charge families a convenience fee to cover your transaction fees in lunch and tuition and fees? If yes, what is the flat dollar amount you'd like to charge? So the thing to note is that you used to be able to charge a percentage up until a few months ago. You could pass on the 3.99% or whatever that might be fee. But I believe it's Visa came out with a new declaration that schools could not charge a percentage fee, any school in the country, for lunch deposits. And so they changed the game. So now we have to have a flat fee to cover those lunch fees that are listed there as well, and tuition fees. So we will be asking you then after that, if you want to charge a fee. Most people do, not everybody, but most people do. Number two, the question is, what is the minimum deposit amount that you'll be willing to accept from families? The lowest you can set is $5, but if you're going to charge, you might want to send $20 or $30, whatever makes sense to you. Three, what is the maximum deposit amount you'd be willing to accept from families? The highest you can set is $5,000. Four, when the families pay for fees charged in the tuition fees module, would you like them to pay towards a specific fee or pay towards the account balance? Helpful tip, we recommend allowing families to pay towards a specific fee to allow for more detailed reporting. This is a really strong, helpful tip. We really recommend that families pay for specific fees, not for the balance, because if you want to run a report to say who paid this fee and who didn't pay a fee, you have to have the parents pay by specific fees. If they pay for the account balance, then you can't run a report based on that. Now, you might have some reasons to say we only want to do the account balance. Maybe you just are a small private school and you just have tuition in there. Well, you sure could do that, but I still would recommend doing the specific fee unless you've got a reason to do the account balance. And I'll show you what it looks like on the JMC Family Portal side in just a moment. Four, how many bank accounts would your district like? One or two? Helpful tip, the $300 listed on your final software agreement includes 2 bank accounts. So the cost to use, I'll just jump into this right now, to use the JMC online payments it's a twofold. Number one, it's $300 flat fee for the 22-23 school year. That amount is actually what we pass on to Payment Spring for their work that they do in this. And then we have for credit card payments, it's a 3.99% fee we charge to the school, and a 1.99% charge for ACH payments, which are made directly from the bank. Now, they're different because that's what Payment Spring is charging, and we're passing it to you, but you can still only you can only charge a flat fee to your family. So I'll say that again. You can charge a flat fee, $4 per transaction, $5, $6, $10, whatever you want. But the fee that's charged to you is 1.99% for ACH if the parents use an ACH deposit, or 3.99% if they use a credit card. So you'll want to typically think, what's the average amount that families are going to pay, right? I'm going to throw out there, the average family is going to pay probably between $50 to $100. All right, so if the average one's going to be $100, that means they're going to charge us, you're going to be charged $4 for that. So I would probably charge, this is my recommendation as a person who does not work in your school, somewhere between $4 and $5 per transaction. You could charge a little more, you can charge less. It doesn't matter to us, but just think about it in those ways, because you're the one, the school that decides. Sometimes schools will reach out to us and say, what should we charge? I can only give you what my recommendation is, but it's totally up to you what you want to do. Of course, the higher the amount you charge, right? If you charge $10 or $20 per transaction, probably the less that families will use the online payments option. So the lower you charge, the more money you're going to take in. I do know a few schools, they are larger school districts, who don't charge any fee because they feel like they get more money overall. So again, totally up for you to decide. All right, then number 5 will be asked, what are the bank accounts for? Helpful tip, lunch, tuition fees, or specific fees, or some combination. We'll be asking you that. Then step 3, we will take it from here and notify you when your account is set up to complete, and families can begin making payments in the family portal or app. Fun fact, all financial transactions are processed by our partner Payment Spring and right into your district's bank account, which means no waiting for funds to become available. So that's really helpful. And then step 4, if you need some training on this, you can email our training team, we'll reach out to you. There's not many people, honestly, that need training with this, because once you get it set up, it's so self-explanatory, but we sure can do it. First thing we do is typically send this video, and then we would follow up with a Q&A session. All right, so is there any questions? Is there any questions about just that setup side of it? Knowing again, you first contact Payment Springs, get it set up. We will charge you that $300 flat fee. And then during the process of us collecting information about how you want it set up in JMC, because we set it up for you, we will ask you, what fee do you want to charge per transaction? And we'll put that right in JMC for you. So any questions about any of those? I see we got a lot of participants today. So all right, I don't see any questions about that. I'll wait for another 30 seconds or so. I want to go also again say you get to decide what that fee is, and you can charge one fee this year, and you can also charge maybe a different fee next year if you want to. Totally up to you. It's again thinking about how much money you think you're going to be taking online. If you're coming from a different payment processor and you're going to use it in JMC for the first year, I'm guessing there's reports that you could run to say, hey, what was our average amount that came in, and what should we charge to help guide you in that particular question there. So great. Beth has a question. Can lunch fees go to a different account than fees? Great question, Beth. So you can have two bank accounts that we connect to. So typically people will do one bank account is for lunch. That's almost 100% of the time people are taking money in for lunch because that's easiest. And then the other bank account will be for fees. So any fees are taken go into that other bank account there as well. The only situation where I've seen where people don't have the lunch account one of the bank accounts be a lunch account is if they don't serve a free and reduced lunch. So some of our very small private schools, they don't have a lunch program. So then for their bank accounts, they might have one bank account for tuition and one bank account for fees. But for your average school, if you're serving free and reduced meals at your school, one bank account will be for lunch. So the deposits go straight into lunch, and one bank account, the deposits will go to those fees that you're charging those families. So great. So any other questions? I don't see any questions about that. So great, Beth. Thanks for kicking that off with a great question. All right, let's keep rolling. Deposits in JMC Office. Have a parent that wants to make a tuition or fee payment over the phone? Office professionals have yet another way to collect tuition and fees through JMC Office. Accommodate families that would like to pay tuition or fees directly from their bank account by using a credit card. Select the fee type to pay, enter the account information, and complete the transaction in the JMC Office module. So here's what happens. This is assuming that you've got some fees or even a some fees in JMC. What I'm really showing you is that you can make a payment in the office if they give you the credit card number. We don't have the ability to do a swiper at this time. Maybe in the future, I'm not sure, but you have to type in the credit card number. It doesn't take long. I run a point of sale here at our farm where we sell kombucha. Sometimes people's credit card swipers don't work or whatever. So I type in the number. It just takes a minute or so. So here's what you're going to do if you want to make a deposit into their fees. You go to Headed Tuition and Fees Data, Edit Student Fee Data, or the Edit Family Organizational Fee Data screen to take a payment. So I like the family one because I like to have people use the family page for their fees. Step 1, select the family from the Find field. Step 2, click the JMC Online Payments Student Account button to enter ACH or credit card payment information. Step 3, select a radio button from the payment type box to identify whether you are paying towards the balance or paying a specific fee. Then follow the steps. And like I said, I like to see people pay for the fee. You sure can do the balance if you want to there as well. Totally up to you. Fun fact, only the charges that have been loaded for the student will appear in the fees box. And I'll talk about that a little bit when I take the live look as well. Step 4, click the credit card tab to make a credit card bank statement, or the bank account tab to make an ACH one as well. So when you do that, I'll show that in the live look. It's actually right here, excuse me, credit card or bank account. Step 5, fill in the appropriate credit card information. Step 6, click the submit deposit button, or you can click cancel as well. Helpful tip, a similar process is followed to make deposits into the student and family lunch accounts in Lunch Data, Edit Family Lunch Data, or Lunch Data, Edit Student Lunch Data. So let's take a live look at the office deposits again. You don't want to be doing a ton of these, but they are available. So if I go here under tuition fees, data, Edit Family Organizational Fee Data, I'm going to find my family here. This is the demo family, demo dad. Okay. Oh, I don't have any fees set up in there to be online. That's all right. Let's go back to last year because I think I do last year. Hold on here. There we go. I don't have my online fees set up for next year yet because we haven't crossed that July 1 threshold. So I'd come in here. There's some fees that need to be paid. I've got a current balance here of $20. I simply come in here. I'm going to pay. I could do the balance again, but I recommend the fees and say, all right, we're going to pay both these fees. Click here and click here. I can actually shift click or command click there. Click OK. And now it's going to take me here and it's going to allow me to put in credit card information if I want to, or bank account information. You'll see if I do this, it doesn't allow me to change the deposit amount because I'm paying those fees, those $20, first name, last name, credit card information, email address. You want to put that in there. That's the email address of the family because they'll receive a receipt via email, and then you click submit deposit. That's all there is to it. Very similar, if not virtually the same, under lunch data, edit family lunch data, make a deposit again here. It comes right here because you're paying off that whole balance overall. So just really briefly, how do the charges get in here if you're brand new to JMC? Lunch items get in here when the students go through the point of sale, through the lunch line, the breakfast line, and they're purchasing things. That's where these things come from. That's what families can pay for online. A little different than tuition and fees, right? In the tuition and fees module, you have to come in and enter the fees first under tuition fees, tuition fees, data, edit tuition and fees. You have to be in the district, but you'll put in whatever fee you want to charge, fall athletic, extracurricular, iPad, registration, any fee you can think of, you can charge to families and allow them to be able to purchase that actually online in the family store, which is a presentation we'll be doing later this summer, or you can charge them those items. And when you charge them those items, then when they go to their edit family fee page, you'll see these items that are listed here. So I've charged this family right here. It's dad demo. I've charged him a Chromebook rental fee, an iPad fee, extracurricular fee. And that's why this person owes $20 right there. So we will have actually this July, another webinar on tuition fees, an updated one. We can also look at the one that we had last year to see how to use tuition fees to charge people as well. So if you have any questions about making the deposit in the office, you sure can go and type that in now. I think I will keep rolling because I can answer that when I get to the next question as well. But again, it just gives you that ability to be able to take a credit card if somebody walks in and says, oh, I forgot to pay online. Can I pay here? Absolutely. It's still going to charge them that fee, right? But that's something for them to know. All right, here's the exciting stuff, deposits in JMC Family. Did you forget to put money in your kids' lunch accounts? Never fear. With JMC's online payment module built right into JMC Family, make a deposit to your kiddo's lunch account on the fly. And when we mean on the fly, it means that if a kid is in the lunch line and doesn't make money, they could text you and say, or your family member, say, hey, I'm out of money. They could make a deposit. And I'm guessing within 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes max, if not faster, that money is going to show up and the kid can go through the lunch line and purchase those cookies that you didn't want them to buy in the first place. All right, to add money into your family or student lunch account, go to the JMC Family Portal and click the lunch in the menu tree. I'll show you that on the left-hand side. Step 1, click the JMC Online Deposit Family Account to make a deposit. Step 2, this is very similar, so I'm gonna go through it pretty quickly, but you enter the dollar amount here. Step 3, select new account from the saved account drop-down list to begin entering their online deposit. You'll have to do this the first time that you do this, right? Because there's no account information in there. Step 4, enter your last name and first name in the appropriate fields. Step 5, enter your credit card information or bank account, right? So I click credit card here. It defaults to that. If you want to do bank account for an ACH, you can click that. Step 6, enter account information in the appropriate fields. A few helpful tips. For credit card payments, you'll need the credit card number, expiration date, and card security code. For bank account payments, you'll need the account number, routing number, and account type as well. That's what shows up on this tab, and I'll show you that when I take the live look. And you can sure send this portion of the video to families if they need some help making these payments, but they typically don't because it's darn easy. Step 7, enter your email address in the email address field to receive a receipt of your transaction. You must do that. Step 8, place a check mark in the Save to My Account checkbox to save your account for future use. This is actually optional. You don't need to do this. If you want to save it, you can save that listed right there, okay? And then step 9 is you can click Submit to submit your payment or cancel. Now, the helpful tip here, which is this blue arrow, is you can use the Manage Payment Methods quick link at the right side of the page to view and edit your saved payment methods. So let me make this clear. You can come in and you can make a payment. If you don't check this box ever, every time you come in, you'll have to re-enter your credit card information. Doesn't matter to us. You can do it either way. But if you're like, no, I want to save that credit card information, you can come in, put that credit card information in, click save, and then you can access it over here. You can have multiple payment methods, right? You know, 1 month you pay for one credit card, another month you pay for another credit card. Doesn't matter to us. You can use that right there. And then you can manage those payment methods right up there. So let's take a live look in the JMC Family Portal. So I'm going to log into my JMC Family Portal here. Log in with my username and password. If I forgot my username and password, you can click these links to retrieve or reset your password. Also, this is in English and in Espanol, so make it easier for families to be able to access. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna make a deposit here under lunch. It'll show you what the balance is. I've got a balance of $287, but if it was negative or positive, you can come here, make that there, put in the deposit amount. You can change it to be whatever you want. It's gonna be a new account because I don't have any in there. First name, last name, credit card information, email address saved to my account. Click submit, super easy to do. If it's a bank account, click on that. You'll need your account number, your routing number, and you can choose whether it's a checking or a savings account. You still need to put an email address in there. And if you want to, you can save that to your account as well. Totally easy for you to do. Once you're done putting that information in there, you simply click submit and all of it will be taken care of. And that money is going to go into your student's account very quickly. Then if you want to see the items that have been saved, you can come here to manage payment methods here, and that will show you a listing of the different credit cards or bank accounts that you have listed there. So really easy to do to come in under lunch here. Again, as I was saying at the beginning of this video, families can see their balance, they can pay it right here. Super, super easy. All right, if you have a question, you can just go ahead and type it in. All the next few sections are very similar, so I'm gonna keep rolling and I'll answer them as we go. Deposits in the JMC Family app. Did you forget to put money in your kid's lunch account? No problem. You can use the app to make a deposit and the funds will be available to your students in a flash. You can even save payment methods for future use. If your school is not using the JMC Family app yet, I would strongly encourage it. It allows them to have JMC on the fly. The app has got some great features in it. You can set it up. I've got a great video on it from this last spring on how to set up the JMC Family portal and JMC Family app and let your families get in there and have that convenience. So no matter where you may be, stay on top of your meal account balance and make a deposit into your student's lunch account. Just click the hamburger menu in the upper left of the JMC Family app. Okay. And this would be for, if you were new to the JMC Family app or your families were, I would send them the video that we have just for them on how to use the Family app. This is just kind of showing office folks how easy it is, but it would take a little bit of just getting used to come in and see how to function with it. It doesn't take more than a few minutes to learn how to use it, but this is kind of going in there and saying you have a general understanding of the Family app. But step one, you can view where your meal balance sits at the moment. Step two, click the deposit button. Again, very similar here. The JMC Family app will not only notify you of low balance lunch accounts, but it also provides a direct channel to deposit that money. Again, step one here, select the meal account that you want to deposit money into. Step two, you can select a saved account, or if you've got a saved account here, just like in the previous screen or the family portal. Step three, enter your first and last name. Then you can save that payment for later use, just like we talked about. Helpful tip that you would check the save account for later circle to store your payment method. Step four, enter the deposit amount listed right here. Step five, enter your credit card payment details for the credit or the debit card listed here. You can check that or click that and change it from credit card to ACH or bank information there. Then step six, enter your email address just like before. And step seven, click submit. So very similar to how it's done in the JMC office, very similar to how it's done in JMC Family Portal. Now it's just done in the JMC Family app. And I don't have the Family app running for you to show this because I actually don't have anybody in a school that I would show that. But again, really easy to do for families to be able to go in there as well. Once families get used to the Family app, it's probably going to be their go-to place to enter in that information. Then we have online payments reporting. Do you have a family member calling to the school to ask the status of a refund to their kiddo's lunch account or asking the status of a tuition payment? Run an online payments transactions report in JMC Office. Run the report for both lunch and tuition and fee accounts and even select different payment statuses for a specific date range. So to run an online payment transactions report, log into JMC Office and go to online payments, online payments. Step one, select the payment type from the payment type drop-down list here. Lunch, only view lunch payments, tuition fees to review those tuition and fee payments. Step two, select how the payment method was how it was made from the payment method drop-down list. So you can do all if you want, right? Credit card, payments made from credit card, bank accounts, payments made from the users entering their routing numbers, and all would just be both of those that are listed there. Step three, select the status of the transaction to view from the status drop-down list. Now, these are two things in general. Pending. A status of pending means the transaction was accepted, but the customer's bank card has not yet released the funds to you. These funds are available in the customer's JMC account. And settled means a status of settled, means the transaction is complete. The customer's funds have been released. Those funds have been available in the customer's JMC account. And so we've been adding to this list right here, pending deposit to pending refund, settled, because as schools come up with different needs of how we're communicating that information, this has become really helpful. I've not done really anything with these particular ones. Tech support helps with these, but what we're doing is we're trying to put the power in your hands. If somebody makes an ACH deposit, It goes into their account automatically because that's the assumption that it's going to be paid. But you can come here and say, okay, they've made that deposit, but is it pending for a deposit or pending for a refund or whatever it might be? So you can see where that's at. That's just how ACH deposits work. And then they can take it from there. So we're putting the power in your hands. Again, most people leave it just at all, but you can use that drop-down menu. That's a client, those are client requested fields. Step 4, enter the from date and to date in the appropriate fields to specify the date range of the online payment transaction you'd like to view. Step 5, click the preview button to view the online payments report. Step 6, click the print button if you want to print it out. Helpful tip. Do you want to export the report to an Excel spreadsheet? Easy peasy. Click the Excel icon right here at the top right of the report to download the report to your computer as a CSV file. You can also upload that to Google Docs if you want. In essence, this is exporting to a CSV file. You'll start to see this little icon more often, allowing you to be able to manage that information if you want to outside of JMC. So let's take a live look at online payments reporting. It's kind of hard to show this a little bit just because I don't have any payments in there, right? I'm not a real school, but it gives you that idea of what you can do. So under online payments to online payments, I can come in here. I could say, I just want to show, my tuition and fee items here. What's the payment for credit card? Any date that you want listed there in preview. And it's going to show all the information there, including the status, the charge amount, the deposit amount, the account type, the account, and the payment method listed right there. So it's really easy to do. So this is not where you would go to see if Mrs. Jones says, hey, I made a credit card payment to my account. Did you get that? Or I don't know, whatever thing they might need or want to ask for a lunch account. You would just simply go to lunch and data, edit family lunch data, and you could say, hey, yeah, you made a deposit on this day, right? That's how you would do that. That wouldn't change for you for lunch or tuition and fees. This report is more, and you could use this report for that too, but this report more is for you to be able to say, all right, I'm the business manager at a school. I have a question about a payment. Is it pending? Has it been failed? What is it? And then you could check that out right here. That's the purpose of this report. Your person who's your food service professional, who's just taking money in and checks and cash and credit, and somebody says, hey, do I need to send in any money? I can't go online to see it, or I did send in something. They could still go to their lunch, to the lunch module, or for tuition fees, they could go to the tuition fees module there as well. But in essence, it basically kind of runs itself. You set it up, families make deposits, and then you're taking that money in. And this is gonna work really well because this summer, actually fall of 2022, we're gonna have a general store where that means that not only can families of your students purchase things, but anybody in the community could purchase things like tickets to a play or sweatshirts or t-shirts or whatever that might be. So these online payments are gonna be used more and more for schools in the upcoming school years. So, okay. I think that's my last section. So let me see here. It is. So if anybody has any questions overall, I'm trying to think of any other things that people ask me about. One question that does come up kind of frequently, not frequently, but probably every 3 months, somebody says, well, can they pay one payment for both their lunch and tuition and fees? And the answer to that question right now is no, we don't allow that because the money goes to different bank accounts. So they have to make a lunch deposit to cover lunch. They have to make a tuition and fees deposit to cover their tuition and fees there. It is two separate payments. They'll have a fee for those, just so you know, but there's no way because those things are intermingled and they can't intermingle because they're going to different bank accounts at your school. And I do believe you can charge different amounts if you want to for tuition fees than lunch for your convenience fees. So that's another reason there as well. But again, I've had people ask the question, but it has not been a complaint or anything like that. It's just that people want to know, hey, is there a way to do that? Because of course, we always want to make it easier for families. I mean, we have programmers at JMC that use this to deposit money into their students' family accounts because their students go to Lake City School here. And so we're always looking for ways to make it easier. But in essence, this makes your life easier. You're preventing all those checks from coming in. You're preventing people having to process those things. It's done online. And that's just generally the way things are going to make it easier for the folks in the office. All right, a question came in. Great. Let's see what that question is here. Beth says, can you allow a student to have a negative lunch balance? Yeah, great question, Beth. Absolutely. Families, students can have negative lunch balances in there. That's part of it. I think If you're on that federal free and reduced lunch program, you can't deny a student a meal, meaning that if a kid has -$5, you have to provide something for them. But kids can have a lunch, a negative lunch balance. You can go into, this is a little bit off topic, but it's a great question. If you go under lunch data, let's see, edit student lunch data here. There is for each student, I'm on the student, not the family, you can uncheck this box that says allow charges. And this makes it so that they would have to pay cash, which is not very common. It's basically the on off switch for them to be able to come in and purchase things through the point of sale and charge it to their account. So it's not very common that people do that. That's that. The thing that's more common is that you can make it so for a student, you can go to the allowed purchases tab and you can uncheck and say, I don't want this student right here, so this is James, to purchase breakfast or lunch a la cartes. And what that means is this happens a lot with like students who are on the reduced plan where they're paying like 40% per lunch or whatever it might be. The families are giving them $2 for the week to say, hey, it's 5 days of this week, 40 cents per lunch, here's $2. We don't want them to go in and blow that $2 on pop or cookies or whatever it might be. So what this means is that when they come to the point of sale, if they try to purchase one of these items, it's going to tell them, hey, they can't purchase those because they've been unchecked. And you can put a custom point of sale display message. I typed this in. Mom and dad said no a la cartes, whatever it might be. So I think that if you have another follow-up question about that, you sure can ask that. But we do allow families to go in the negative, and that's why we have under lunch reports, we've got those low balance notices here, where you can send out those low balance notices to any family very easily for those that are under a certain amount of a balance or those that will run out in certain days. And now we have the function to call them if you have the message center, which has been really helpful. We'll call and read off the message here. You know, as a school, you're never going to get away from families all having positive balances for lunch. There's always some that are going to have negatives. It's just how life is. And so what we want to do is make it easy for those that want to pay or can pay, have the ability to pay, and those that want to keep up to date to do that. And those that are struggling, right, they need a little extra love. You can find out how to work with them, of course, but we're trying to make it easy for those folks that have the desire and the ability to pay. So great question. And I always say my kind of final thought on that is that you want to make it easy for the folks that have the ability, right? They have a computer at home, they have the money in their account to do that. So you don't have to deal with that. Then the people who need a little extra love, right? Those that might have lost their job or those that don't have money to pay for the meals, you can call and talk to them because you're not spending your time talking to somebody, processing checks from people who have the money. You can reach out and say, hey, let's set up a payment plan or whatever that might be. So that's why I like the ease of use of this, because it gives you more time to work with those folks that need a little extra time and a little extra love. All right, I don't see other questions. So I'm going to kind of keep going. If you have a last question, you can sure type it in. JMC news and upcoming events. So we have always have a weekly webinar every Wednesday, even in the summer. Next week, we have creating the credit checker in JMC Office, a great feature. And then week 4, a brand new webinar, how to prepare for JMC's annual summer conferences. We've got our summer conferences coming up. I think from my memory, it's August 2nd in the Minnesota Landscape Arboretum at the University of Minnesota in the Twin Cities. I think August 4th or 5th, it'll be up here in just a second. In Ankeny, Iowa, at the FFA Enrichment Center, 2 really great venues. But sometimes people will ask, well, how should I prepare for this annual conference? Well, that's what that one's going to be about. And then the 4th of July week, we've got welcome to new users of JMC, and then 7:13, navigating the message center. I always want to keep people up to date on how to use the message center. So attend JMC summer conference and earn a pizza party for your school. Calling all JMC office users, attend JMC summer conferences and earn a pizza party for your school from May 2nd to 2022 to July 31st, 2022, the building that sends the most attendees to one of our in-person summer conferences wins a pizza party for their building. We want to see you at those summer conferences because in a nutshell, it is super valuable for you and your team to spend a day learning about and thinking about JMC. We're an easy, powerful to use student information system, but you need to at least sit down for a few hours before the school year starts and says, what are we going to use? What are the new features they have? What do we want to do to make sure you're using JMC efficiently? Because once the school year starts, it can be hard to learn and implement new things, even if they're easy to use. So it's a great time to sit and think, how are we going to implement the new features in JMC offices here? And we've got a lot of great ones. JMC's training team is back at it for a summer full of training. From new administrators to teachers to office folks, we have training just for you. So grab a pal and check out our summer training opportunities to ensure you hit the ground running this fall. Sign up for any or all of our conferences today by searching for summer conference lineup using our in-app widget. All right, now we are looking for 4 more passionate part-time client service specialists in Southern Iowa and Wisconsin. As a client service specialist, you'll develop meaningful relationships with our users through communication, training, and support. In return, we offer a competitive salary and the opportunity to work remotely. Read the full job posting here for further details. To apply, you can email hr@jmcinds.com with job application in the subject line. This is a great role. It is part-time, 20 to 30 hours per month. But if you're saying, you know what, I'm going to be done in this educational field, but I want to still stay connected, want to teach people how to use JMC and how to use it efficiently, this is a great job opportunity for you. Another great way to stay up to date on all things JMC is through our social media presence. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn at Online JMC, or our blog, jmcinc.com/news. Well, I appreciate the questions that were sent in today. Appreciate your time. Think about this. If you want to use it for this upcoming school year, I would definitely get going on it pretty soon. So thanks for your time today, and thank you for choosing JMC.